All right. California Governor Gavin Newsom said he won't run for president in 2024, even if President Biden decides to run for another term. Newsom said in an interview with Politico that he has told the White House that he is all in on Biden running for re-election, and told Biden himself during a phone call on Election Day earlier this month. He also said he will not run for president if Biden does not run, but was less firm about the 2028 election. Newsom had been rumored as a possible Democratic candidate for president in 2024, especially if Biden doesn't run. He criticized the Democratic Party for its messaging ahead of the midterm elections, urging members to be more aggressive on challenging Republican narratives, and rad ads criticizing Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Texas Governor Greg Abbott, both considered potential top contenders for the GOP nomination and future presidential contest. Newsom also easily won re-election as governor of California earlier this month after fending off a recall effort last year. Observers have noted Biden as a winner from the results of the midterms, as the Democratic Party managed to outperform polls on its way to keeping a majority in the Senate and losing control of the House only narrowly. Biden has indicated that he intends to run for president again and will make a final decision earlier next year. Newsom said he hopes Biden runs and that he thinks the incumbent can beat former President Trump again if he's the GOP nominee. Trump announced his third bid for the White House last week, becoming the first major candidate to jump in the race. Okay, so a couple of things here. I'm going to go with my theory for what actually happened. Biden is probably going to run, and he's probably going to announce in the early part of next year, maybe around like February, March, April. I'd be very surprised if we get to June of next year and he's not in. But so he's going to run, and at some point before the midterm, he and Newsom talked to each other, and Newsom said, "Hey, look, I'm thinking of running, but I don't want to, run against you because I know that party loyalty is the only thing that the Democrats care about, and if I run against you, it'll be career suicide as far as my presidential ambitions." And they agreed that if it can go this way, if Biden runs and then Newsom doesn't in 2024, then if Newsom runs in 2028 and Biden, is like around and still active and stuff, which I assume he will be, he'll either hold off on endorsing anybody or he'll endorse him. Because, like I said, Newsom is someone who Democrats, unfortunately, are going to keep propping up as the future. People like him and Julian Castro and Booker and Gillibrand, all the rest of them. They are the team of names that get swirled around that are seen as like these young, vibrant candidates, even if I think most of them are empty suits. But there's no way that he didn't get some kind of discussion with Biden before making a decision like this. And he's very smart to not try to primary him, which these establishment Democrats would never do. But that was a very intelligent thing for him not to do, a very practical thing, because if he did, it would be the end of his career, period. As in, he would lose, and in this 2024 primary, in the event that he had challenged Biden, and then he'd serve out the rest of his term as governor of California, possibly with a recall that the Democrats wouldn't help him with, and then just fade into obscurity like 90-something% of our other governors that weren't Arnold or Reagan. I mean, hey, how many times you heard about Jerry Brown at this point? Exactly. No, he is gone. But yeah, it's really hard to look at these candidates, and the article mentions that Greg Abbott, the Texas governor, is like considered a top contender. I've never seen, and maybe I don't read 2024 stuff every day because I have more pressing stuff that interests me besides an election that is still pretty much almost 2 years away. But I've never seen anyone on any circumstance that's from like a major publication, like not just some Twitter trash, talk about having Abbott run for president. In fact, I could have sworn that Abbott said he didn't have presidential ambitions like Bush and Perry, the two Texas governors before him. So I don't know. It's a really weird push, I should say, to make these different people, because I said before, nobody knows Newsom for any actual position, and in fact, he pissed off a lot of people here in his own damn state for being a hypocrite on the virus and for abandoning single payer. The only time, and I've said this before, the only issue Newsom has ever shown any kind of courage, bravery, balls with regard to is same-sex marriage. But even then, that hasn't been with him as governor. That was when he was mayor of San Francisco. So as far as any new things in his record that are impressive, I can't think of zilch. 8 years as lieutenant governor, 4 years as governor, and I really can't think of one very good thing he's done or one major issue that he's led on. And that's the person that Democrats want to prop up as their nominee, but they don't want to prop him up because he's this very accomplished politician who helped guide his state of California through these turbulent times. Because like I said, you go around my state, you see nothing but homeless people. Anytime you go to downtown, to any of these cities, you see homeless people. The real reason that he gets talked about as someone who could possibly be a nominee at some point, again, whether it's in 2024, 28, 32, is because he's considered physically attractive. He is relatively young compared to a lot of the other people that they have. So he does that next generation thing. And it's all just window dressing. He's just another example of the same old tired tricks that the establishment of Democrats have. This idea that if you just give us this pretty empty suit, voters will just blindly vote for it. And I don't think it's going to work. And I think he is a very boring at best and mediocre at worst politician who unfortunately gets propped up a lot by other members of his party for appearance versus actual substance.